past 8 months, or the start of 2024, I have done quite a bit of damage when it comes to buying books. I've always been an avid reader, but I've never purchased a lot of books before. I've purchased books here and there, and then I've received books as gifts as well. But in December 2023, I had bought myself a bookshelf, and then the book buying kind of just spiraled from there. And right now I'm looking at a stack of 47 books that I have purchased in the past 8 months. So I thought it'd be fun to do a little haul of all the books that I've bought. I'm going to split this up into 4 categories of how I've obtained these books. The first one being from Indigo / bookstores, like indie bookstores. The second category being online. I don't really buy books online except for from Book Outlet actually, so I would say that this is just a Book Outlet haul, or a Book Outlet portion of the haul. The third category is Facebook Marketplace. As someone who lives in Canada and has to deal with Canadian book prices, which are so expensive, I've gotten such good deals from Facebook Marketplace. It is one of my favorite places to browse for books. And then the fourth category is, I'm going to call it like miscellaneous / gifted, so books I've just been given that I didn't purchase on my own. So a side note is that this haul is really big for me. I know for other people it's probably not as big, but I expanded my at-home library from like 8 books last year to 50 something, like 50 books this year within the span of 8 months. So it's quite a massive haul to me. Let's get on to the haul. I'm gonna start off with Indigo / independent bookstores category. Now that I think about it, I don't think I've bought that many books off of Indigo, but it feels like I have. Am I missing books? It feels like I'm missing some books or something, even though I don't think I am. Anyway, maybe I didn't buy that many Indigo books this year. The first book I want to talk about is The Ministry of Time by Callian Bradley. I haven't read it yet, but I've heard such good reviews about it, so I plan to read this very, very soon. I think it's a mix of genres of sci-fi and romance. Excited to read this soon, but I did get this off Indigo, and I think it was like when they were having the 30% off sale for bestsellers, something like that. I honestly hardly buy books from Indigo or independent bookstores unless they have a discount of some sort, because book prices in Canada are so expensive. I don't know, like if I spent $30 on every hardcover book that I own, that would be a problem. But anyway, this is one of the books that I got off of Indigo, and I really wanted to collect classics and reread some classics that I read from high school and then annotate them and just kind of see my perspective of them now, because when I was in high school, literature portion of English class was like one of my favorite portions of English or school. I loved annotating books and reading them and then like doing an analysis of them. So I got a big stack of I think the publisher is Arcturus, yeah. Arcturus paperbacks classics. They were having like a 3 for $12 sale for these Arcturus paperback classics. So I got 1984 by George Orwell, Animal Farm by George Orwell, 2 of my favorite classics that I analyzed in high school, to be honest. Dracula by Bram Stoker, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, and Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Honestly, I really wanted to get Persuasion and Emma by Jane Austen, but they sold out of them in this print form and I wanted them all to match, so I didn't end up getting it. I don't think they're restocking them anytime soon, which is kind of sad, so I wish I was able to get Emma and Persuasion, but I will probably read those eventually anyways. But these are the stacks I got from Indigo, and that kind of concludes everything I got from Indigo. The second category for this haul will be Book Outlet. I purchased books from Book Outlet when they've had a sale. Actually, the first time I bought it twice. The first haul I did was they were doing every book for $8, every fiction book for $8 I think, or $7.99. And then the second time I bought it was because after the first time I bought books, they gave me like a $10 coupon. So I was like, you know what, this coupon is expiring, like I kind of have to use it. Might as well. First off, I got the first 2 books in the Throne of Glass series. I got Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas and Crown of Midnight. This is 2 books out of the Throne of Glass series. I kind of regret buying this because I was hoping to get the entire box set of Throne of Glass anyways, so I might end up unhauling these when I eventually get Throne of Glass box set, but I just haven't bought it yet. So I still have these from Book Outlet. These are both $8 because of the sale. Also in that initial haul, I got Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. It's kind of like a gothic fantasy. I already read Starling House by the time I bought this off Book Outlet. The writing seemed very familiar to me and I really enjoyed reading it. The book itself was like okay, but I wanted to get it anyways, and this was also $8. Then I got Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. By the time I bought this, I had already also read this book on my Kindle, but I wanted to buy the physical copy because I did really enjoy this book. I think I also gave this like 4.75 stars. And then also in that Book Outlet haul, I got Billy Summers by Stephen King. This will be my first Stephen King book. I don't think I'm ever going to read any of his horror content, but I don't think this one is as scary as other books. I think this is just considered a thriller. And I do really want to get into other Stephen King books. I've heard a lot of good things about 11/22/63, I think that's what it's called. And I also really want to read Misery, but they didn't have those books on Book Outlet, so I just decided to buy Billy Summers. This will be my first dip into Stephen King and I'll go from there. And then the last book I got from that initial haul was Beartown by Frederick Bachman. This is the first book in a trilogy series, very popular series. I haven't read it yet. I'm thinking I'm going to save this for the winter because it is about ice hockey. It is based in Switzerland, I think, so I think it'll be very wintry, so I'm excited to read this. So all of these books from my initial Book Outlet haul were $8. And then, like I mentioned, I had a coupon for $10 off my next Book Outlet purchase, so I did do a little bit more damage at Book Outlet recently. I got How the King of Elfheim Learned to Hate Stories by Holly Black and illustrated by Ravina Kai. I loved the illustrations in this book. This is like a novella short story illustration situation, part of the Folk of the Air trilogy. This comes after it, and I don't even own the Folk of the Air original trilogy, but I borrowed this from the library to read it. I just loved the drawing so much that I was like, I have to own it. And look at these like inside jacket and these drawings. It's so cool. I just wanted to own this and display it on my shelf. If you haven't heard of Book Outlet before, they're an online store. I think they ship globally, I want to say. Canada for sure, US for sure. But they sell books at like 50% off. And they usually have no imperfections. Like for example, this book's perfectly great. But sometimes they'll have little like dots, Sharpie markers on the book, but it's so not really noticeable. And the rest of the book is in perfect condition. Just has those little Sharpie marks. Book Outlet, highly recommend. Next book I got was Circe by Madeline Miller. I read this book last year and I really enjoyed it. I also read Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller and I enjoyed Circe more. I think that's an unpopular opinion. I think people usually like Song of Achilles more, but I got Circe. I also got Heartless Hunter, which I was really surprised about. This is a more recent release. This is by Kristen Cicerelli. It is part of the Crimson Moth series. This book recently blew up on TikTok and BookTube, and I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it and give it pretty good ratings. I think like I've seen 4 stars across the map. And I really like this hardcover because I don't even know how to explain it, but it feels very squared off. And then for some other books that I think are less well known, and I don't even really know what they're about, but I do know that I've heard good things about them. This is How Do You Live by Genzaburo Yoshino, sorry. It's a book translated from Japanese. I don't exactly know what this is about. It is a classic Japanese coming-of-age novel about a young man searching for his purpose in the world, and it says it's now a major motion picture from Studio Ghibli, which I did not know. I love Studio Ghibli movies, so I think I will read this and then I'll maybe watch the Studio Ghibli film. Next, I got Welcome to the Hangnam Dong Bookshop by Hwang Borium. This was translated from Korean. This is a Korean novel. I believe it's just a book about a Korean bookstore, and it's probably just like a slice of life type of book. I don't know what the conflict is in it or anything. I generally don't know anything about this book. I just heard a lot of good things. The cover is so cute. The last book I got from Book Outlet was As Long as Lemon Trees Grow by Zulfa Katu. Covers are really nice. I don't really know what this book is about either. I think it's about a girl who grew up in Syria during the war. I'm very excited to read this. I think it's historical fiction with magical realism, so I hope I can read this one soon. So that concludes my Book Outlet haul. I think I'm gonna do Facebook Marketplace next. Yeah, I'll do Facebook Marketplace next. Like I mentioned, I love going on Facebook Marketplace and buying books because I get such good deals. So I'm just gonna rapid fire the books that I got and then input the prices somewhere. First up, I got Emily Henry books. I am missing a book. I'm missing Happy Place. Happy Place I got from Indigo. I knew I was missing a book. I also got Happy Place by Emily Henry. It is somewhere else in my room and I'm currently reading it, so that's why it's not in this stack. Anyway, I got 3 Emily Henry books off of Facebook Marketplace. I got Book Lovers, People We Meet on Vacation, and A Funny Story, the hardcover edition. I'm hoping to get the paperback when this one comes out, and then I'll unhaul the hardcover so I can have all matching Emily Henry paperbacks. And I also have a pending purchase for Beach Read, so I'll finally be able to complete my Emily Henry collection, which I'm really happy about. Next, from the same seller that I got Funny Story from, I also picked up Two Twisted Crowns. If you're wondering where One Dark Window is, that's going to be in the gifted portion of this video. And I wasn't even gonna buy Two Twisted Crowns because I didn't really like Two Twisted Crowns. I loved One Dark Window. This one was just okay to me, but I decided to get it anyways because the person was selling it off of Facebook Marketplace. It was $10, so why not? Next up, I really wanted to read Red Rising. It was part of my 2023 TBR, and I started reading it on my Kindle. I think I got like 15% of the way through, but at a point I was like, this is a book that I feel I need to read physically. Any confusing books like sci-fi or things that have really intense world building, I feel like I need to read it physically or else the words just kind of fly by me when I read it on a Kindle. I don't know why. So I've been searching for Red Rising, and I found Red Rising and Golden Sun off of Facebook Marketplace. So they're in pretty good condition, and I think I got these both for $5. I think this was originally a sci-fi trilogy, but I think he has since said it'll be 7 books, so I will have to buy the rest of them eventually if I do enjoy the first 2 books, but at least I have them. I think this was one of my first purchases on Facebook Marketplace. I have the entire Caraval trilogy by Stephanie Garber, which includes Caraval, Legendary, and Finale. I was originally never intending to read these books, but then I saw the set being sold on Facebook Marketplace for such an inexpensive price that I just had to get it. I also got this Grishaverse box set for such an inexpensive price. The paper wrapping was still on this when I bought it. I did read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom already. I'm so happy with this box set because the illustrations on it are just so gorgeous. They show different scenes in the books. Like, look at that. Last thing I got from Facebook Marketplace was the entire A Court of Thorns and Roses box set by Sarah J. Maas. I don't think I have to explain what this series is. It's super popular on the internet. But this was pretty much new. The person who sold it said they only read the first book, and then the wrapping was still pretty much on it. All of these books were very new, and I think I got this for $50, I want to say. But this entire set, which I'm really happy about, that I can add this to my collection. The last category for this book haul will be gifted books, which is kind of all over the place. First of all, I got gifted the entire Once Upon a Broken Heart series by Stephanie Garber. I love this series. I did read this first before reading Caraval. I have the 2 original hardcovers for the first 2 books. This was gifted to me by my partner, and my friend gifted me the Indigo exclusive edition for Curse of True Love. I did get this last year when it came out around my birthday, so I didn't get this in the past 8 months, but I had to include it. And then my partner also recently gifted me One Dark Window, like I mentioned when I was talking about Two Twisted Crowns. This book never goes on sale in Indigo, but it went on sale for some reason recently, and I told him like, oh my god, this book went on sale. It never goes on sale, and then he bought it for me, so thank you to my partner. He also recently gifted me Trust of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I'm currently reading The Final Empire, and I do want to get a little bit further into the Cosmere before I read this book. Next up, I got 2 books from my workplace. These are just 2 non-fictions. EEI Credentials, so about diversity, equity, inclusion in the workplace, and then Think Remarkable by Guy Kawasaki. He came to speak at my workplace, and he gave everyone a book, so I got gifted these 2 books. I say gifted, but they were just like given for free. Last book of this haul is one of the most exciting things because of how I got this book. This is the book swap by Tessa Bickers. This is my first ever ARC that I've ever received, and I got this from HarperCollins, so thank you HarperCollins Publishing for gifting me an ARC copy of the book swap. I haven't read it yet, but the premise of it sounds very cute, where these 2 love interests are writing messages to each other in the margins of classics. Yeah, that's my first ever ARC. So exciting. So that concludes all the books that I've bought in the past like 8-ish months, or books I've received, obtained in some way. Hope you enjoyed the book haul.